Okay, let's talk about that title. Nobody hates Sonic more than Sonic fans is a statement that is more commonly found within many Sonic discussions. I want to make it clear immediately that I almost never agree with the use of this statement. It's often used to deflect criticism towards the series. You could say something as simple as, I don't like Shadow Generations, and people will reply with that stupid Sonic Colors meme. I guess it stems from a place of insecurity. Naturally, it's hard for people to accept opinions that involve disliking something that they like. Deflecting those opinions and subsequent criticism is a great example of toxic positivity. Being positive is great, and you should be allowed to like things. However, just because you like those things and the majority of people like them, it doesn't make it wrong for people to dislike them. Somebody could say they hate Sonic Frontiers and think even Sonic 06 is better. Sure, it might be a hot take, but it's a valid opinion. You can dislike a game that the majority of other people like. That doesn't mean you dislike the series. But on that same note, I feel like there's also a big problem with toxic negativity. And I feel like this is just as important as toxic positivity. Mindless hating, doom posting, you see it everywhere. You can say something such as, I like Frontiers' writing, and you can get someone saying you're wrong and that Ian Flynn is ruining Sonic or something. Or hell, with things like CrossWorlds, people get mad at others for supporting the game just because they personally don't like it. It's an endless cycle. But there's always been two sides to this toxic coin, and I feel like that doesn't often get acknowledged. So why am I bringing all of this up? Well, discourse has been ramping up a lot when it comes to Sonic's current game output and direction. It's gotten to a point where if you like current Sonic, you're wrong. If you dislike current Sonic, you're also wrong. And if you're somewhere in the middle, you're still wrong. There's such a massive divide in the community at the moment. And with that, there's also been a lot of hostility. Look, this is the fucking Sonic community. You and I both know that discourse like this has been around for ages. But the difference now is that Sonic is in a great spot. I would argue that he is currently seeing some of the greatest success he has ever seen. When we discuss discourse from, say, 10 years ago, it all stems from the series' failures. But in recent years, I feel like there's been a lot of vitriolic hate towards the franchise, and it goes beyond disliking something like Frontiers and the direction it's taking the series. Some people have gone as far as to say that Frontiers' success actually didn't do anything for the series, even when that's just factually not true. It just seems that many people don't like how the series is succeeding when it's going in a direction that they don't like. But they're also trying to push that sentiment onto others and resorting to flat out denying the impact of Sonic's recent successes. Let's talk about Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. Coming from somebody who's given the game a large amount of criticism for things like the price and the gameplay, I still want it to be successful. This game is a sign that Sonic Team is in a much better spot financially, and while I don't think the game warrants that price point, I don't want this game to be a hindrance to the franchise, and I don't want it to fail. Why would I? And honestly, I'm kind of shocked by how much discourse is surrounding this game. On the one hand, you have people praising its content, its character roster, and fan service, and then you have the people critiquing things like the animations, the gameplay, the voices, the price, all of that. Both sides are perfectly okay, and I'm not here to invalidate anyone's opinions of the game itself. What I have an issue with is this community's inability to accept both positivity and criticism of this game. If somebody criticizes it, you'll have people telling you to be more confident in the game and be grateful that we're getting all of this content. And then you have some people praising the game but getting told that they're wasting their money, and that the flaws are clear signs of laziness and poor development management. There's no winning. But with this game especially, I guess there's no better way to put it other than that this is a racing game, something to hold us over until the next mainline game. So I don't really understand how people can look at this game's flaws and think it's anything detrimental for the series, especially with how well CrossWorlds is already performing. And on the other hand, I don't see how anyone can look at someone's simple disinterest and criticism of the game as hate for the series, since again, even if it was a mainline game, it's just one game. It doesn't at all mean that you're a fake Sonic fan or whatever. Okay, but how about a mainline game? Sonic Frontiers. It's quickly become one of the most divisive games in the series, mainly coming from the new direction the game is taking, and how that direction is most definitely becoming the new norm. Both toxicities apply here as well. Some people love the new direction and success it's brought for the series, while others have prayed for this game's downfall out of pure dislike of what this game does. Both sides have been met with hate, and in some cases, harassment, which is just not okay. But what I mainly have an issue with when it comes to Frontiers discourse is this notion that there is a definitive style in gameplay for Sonic. Thus, if you like Frontiers and you enjoy the new direction for the series, then you don't like Sonic as both a character and a gameplay style, and I never understood this at all. You can give criticism to the game, you can think it's the worst Sonic game, I don't care, but acting like Sonic's character can't have any slight differences between games, and that the series never changes or evolves in any way, and that Sonic has to be a specific way for the game to qualify as an actual Sonic game is bizarre to me. Sure, Frontiers' iteration of both Sonic's character character and the gameplay is different, and you may dislike it. But the reason why this series is so special to me personally is because of how diverse it is. Sonic is a character that fits in so many different styles and tones. Liking Frontiers and what it does is just liking another one of those iterations. But it's still Sonic. I don't agree when people downplay someone's enjoyment of the game by challenging their credibility as a Sonic fan. But then there are people who enjoy the game but downplay others for not accepting the game's direction and not being able to adapt to the change. For me, I love the direction for Frontiers, but if you don't like it and prefer something like Black Knight or Unleashed, that's perfectly okay. So I think it's important to give criticism. Again, I've given the series a lot of criticism on my channel, but I've also made sure to point out things that I do like and that I think works well. And it's all done out of love for the series, because I want to see it improve, and I want to see certain things change. That's the difference between criticism and hate. I feel like at the end of the day, we all want to see the series improve in different ways, and we should all voice our opinions and let our thoughts be heard, no matter how negative or how positive. But we shouldn't do things like Doom Post just because we don't like something about it. I saw this open letter to Sega that a user by the name of Spamite put together regarding the current voice direction for the series and how it can be improved. I think this is awesome. This is how you should critique things. It doesn't have to be a multi-page document like this, but you don't have to say things like Ian Flynn should be fired. Instead, maybe say something like Ian Flynn could improve at this and this. Constructive criticism is key, and most importantly, we should respect the opinions of others and not disregard their opinions just because we don't see eye to eye on a certain topic. But yeah, sorry for the yeah-fest. This is just something that I wanted to talk about and thought now would be a good time to do so. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all later. Goodbye.